And welcome to this edition of the Coach Kerry Johnson Sports Show. Join me, Coach Kerry Johnson. Coach, a tough loss against Upperman last week, but you saw some improvement.
Well, we finally moved the ball offensively, which we haven't done much of this year, which obviously that's an improvement we want. Not the result we wanted at the end. We didn't go down there to compete. We went down there to win and come up a yard short. For the second time we've done that this year.
Well, we'll take a look at that game. Plus, we'll look ahead to this week's game at Green Hill, and we got some very important information about that, so stay tuned. We'll have that coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, a word from Union Bank.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
And back here with Coach Kerry Johnson. And Coach, Upperman the other night, like you said, you came up about a foot short. I from my vantage point, it looked like he got in, but they said he was just short on the fourth and goal.
On that particular play, when the play started and we got it was a little swing pass out there to Caden Stover. I thought when he caught it, I thought he was going to walk in, and I was surprised that they made they got there and stopped him. And like I said, I didn't know. From my vantage point, I had no idea. I thought he was in. Obviously, like I said, I couldn't tell him so far. I'm across the field on the other side. But I'm sure the ref saw it better than I did.
Coach, it was a tough loss for your team, but like you said, you did move the ball better.
Yeah, well, you see what we were missing when Mark Mitchell opens things up a little more for us. He gives us a speed threat on the outside at receiver, and that helps us with everything else. So if you got that, you've got to. They started doubling him in the second half, and so it's going to be able to make you be able to do what you want to do, and that's run the ball and try to get that inside run game going, which we did.
But your pass offense really looked much improved over from the past game.
Yeah, we got some guys not knowing exactly what patterns they're supposed to be in because we got some kind of rub patterns that we wanted to run that we didn't get a run, and we also had some alignment mishaps that we got to take care of. And the one thing we got to have out of our receivers, as much as them making good catches, is they need to be able to block downfield, and we have not had receivers blocking downfield this year yet.
Coach, one thing also you cut down on the penalties, had a couple of turnovers, but not as many penalties.
We had 2 turnovers. I think it was like from previous games, penalties that was not an issue this game. So as far as that goes, we did have 2 we had 2 personal fouls. One of them really was a bad call, I thought, so I kind of let that go. But the second personal foul was what we don't need to be doing. We were messing around after the play. The guy got blocked or something. He didn't like getting blocked, and he retaliated and got called for it. The other one, it was the same guy, but he was just playing hard on that one, and they caught him for a late hit out of bounds, which he was actually tackled the guy inbounds, and the play ended up out of bounds.
Coach, your boys, like I said, you were able to keep the turnovers down and much better on the penalties, but when you give those personal foul penalties, that's an automatic first down.
Yeah, you can't have them. We've stressed that for the last 2 weeks, and going back to the turnover thing, we had the last turnover was kind of I don't really count that as a turnover. That was kind of it was a little kind of, I won't call it desperation, but we were out of timeouts, and we haven't worked a lot on 2-minute offense, so it was going to be, we were going to struggle to get plays off right there, and we just kind of, and actually the cut play that I called wasn't the play that was actually we hit on that one too. So that's kind of a miscommunication, but like I said, they weren't huddled to get the play right.
Your defensive team did a pretty good job, gave up a few points, but did a pretty decent job.
Shut them down in the second half. They scored, they got the 1 touchdown on us, which that was enough to beat us. The one thing we didn't do is we gave them up a big play on the 3rd and long in the third quarter, right before halftime, I think it was 3rd and 18, and they got 19 yards on it. They'd been punting the ball away with it to us, and we'd have been up 21-12 at that time. That was probably that was a killer to us in the second half, in the first half, because we would have gone in at least up 9 instead of just 1 at halftime.
And your special teams, they did an excellent job as well. Caden had a couple of big returns. I think one of them was called back, but you had a good job from the special teams as well.
Yeah, punt return. Of course, we did drop one, gave them the ball, and that was one of the turnovers. Which, that's not an offensive mishap turnover. That's just I guess lack of concentration or whatever. He made up for it on the next punt returns when he had the good punt return. We've got to get better kickoff returns, though. We're struggling on some of the kickoff returns. We're letting the ball hit back there, and we got to do a better job on that, though.
Coach, it was a region contest. That was the big problem. It was your second loss in the region.
Yeah, it really puts us behind the 8 ball. We still had a chance to win the region if we went down there and beat those guys, and now we're 1-2. We're sitting behind pretty much everybody right now. Upperman's undefeated. Smith is now they're 2-1, and so us and Sequatchie, that's going to be for 3rd place. Maybe you have a slight chance of maybe squeezing there and get that 2nd spot, but at least you don't have to go to the 1 seed if you can beat Sequatchie.
And that's going to be even 3rd or 4th is going to be tough because the number 3 and 4 team in the state sat there waiting to play whoever.
Red Bank and Loudon, yeah, but we got to take care of. That's so far down the road. Like I said, we got to get a win this week again, and maybe get this ball rolling against Green Hill, and hopefully, we can continue to improve offensively. And if our defense plays like they did in the second half again, we got a good chance to go down and get a win.
Coach, any injuries or any injury updates?
Yes, unfortunately, we've lost some key guys, and we lost another one this week. Thaddeus Tolman is out for the year. He broke his leg was broke, and that is a big blow because he was a vital portion of both the offense and defense. And if Thaddeus is hurt, he's hurt because he's one of the toughest kids we got out there. Levi Ramsey had a little knee issue, but from what I understand, it was dislocated and it popped back into place, and he ended up going back in the game in the second half. So he's probably good to go at left tackle for us on offense again this week.
Well, the Dragons come up short against Upperman. Well, this week they take on a school that's first year ever. We'll take a look at Green Hill out of Mount Juliet right after this.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Back here on the Coach Kerry Johnson Sports Show. And Coach, this week you got the Green Hill Hawks. What do you know about the Hawks?
Well, we're going to get to play at a nice facility, that's for sure. I was watching the film and was impressed with the stadium, and they got the turf field that everybody's going to now. They got several good athletes. A good running back, number 6, runs hard. They play kind of unorthodox defense. It's similar to some of the stuff we've seen, but they kind of they have a lot of guys that we may have trouble trying to block those guys, so we'll have to watch a lot of film on and see what they're doing. It's kind of similar to what Upperman does defensively, but they do a lot more stunning than probably Upperman.
Coach, offensive, what you got to do to keep this momentum you've got as far as moving the ball and playing against these guys?
Well, we're going to continue to do what we've done. We've got trying to get we'll have a couple more formations we'll have for this week, and that we're going to throw out there, and hopefully that will probably be all we get in for this year. And at that point, if we blocked a lot better Friday night, and that's the key. It doesn't matter what you line up in, you got to block somebody up front, and our guys did a better job of that this week. And when we get in our big packages, backfield packages, those guys really came off the ball and blocked. I know it's the second or third play of the game. We had a right guard, who was playing guard at the time. I can't remember, but Ricky. Yeah, Ricky Clark came through. I'm going to call him Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby came through there and made a key block on that middle linebacker and knocked him about 3 yards off the ball. And it was I can't remember who. Somebody else came out there and made a key block on that same play. And I think that set the tone for the game because it was the second or third play of the game. Connor Warden was the right guard, by the way. I'm sitting here trying to say Connor, can't remember his last name. But Connor Warden made a key block, and so did Ricky. And it set the tone. And I think it shocked Upperman on that play, and they thought, well, these guys are here to play. Maybe we can do that again.
Are we going to see the multiple formations that we saw last week?
Oh, you'll see tons of different formations. And like I said, we got a couple more we're going to put out there as well. I think, if you have to line up, if it makes it difficult trying to line up against that stuff, then it's hard on the defense. They're trying to figure out how to line up, and it caused Upperman some problems. I could tell, they kind of adjusted to our run game in the second half and started pinching their tackles in a little bit to stop that inside game. We should be able to go outside when they do that, but we didn't.
Coach, defensively, you got to shut them down. What you got to do to shut them down?
Do what we're doing. Our ends need to be able. They're going to run a lot of. Run a lot of read option out of the gun, and so our ends have got to play their assignments like they've done. Zach and Evan have done a great job this year, and they just continue to do that. I think we'll be okay. And when they do play their job and they've turned it in hard, our tackles have got to make those stops on the inside, and our linebackers have got to make those key open field tackles.
But on defense, you got to find a replacement for Tolman.
Yeah, and he's played everywhere for us. He's played corner, he's played linebacker, and so, we've got right now we can't have any more injuries, or we can probably cover him for the rest of the season without another injury in one of those spots. But we're pretty thin right now, especially in the secondary. We've got to find another guy to step up to help those guys in the back there.
Coach, in a game like this, having your special teams come out and make a big play could be the difference in the game, and could be maybe a big play by them could be change the game as well.
Yeah, I watch film every week, and I cannot understand why we can't get better returns on our kickoffs, and that's my biggest issue with that. And hopefully we'll work on that. Might change some personnel back there too. We need to get those guys need to hit that seam. We've had a seam a couple of times. And if we can hit that, I think we can do some damage on kickoff returns. Coach,
this game, of course, not a district game, but it's a game that you guys could get some momentum built up on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We need to get a win, no matter how it comes. And this is an opportunity. Every week's an opportunity to get one. And I've said it once. I've said it already 100 times this year. We can win any game on our schedule. I think we showed that, last week when I'm sure nobody gave us much of a chance to go down there and play Upperman. But we can lose any game. And so we got to be ready to go out there and play every single week. And this is an opportunity to get a win and get something going.
Coach, give us some Hawks to watch.
Like I said, number 6 stood out on film. He's a hard runner. He's a shifty guy. Runs hard. He likes to hit the perimeter. Quarterback seems to be a pretty good athlete, and they got 2 or 3 guys that fly around the ball on defense, so that's a little concern on how they do a lot of unorthodox stuff. I don't know if it's if they're kind of on their own, or the kind of guys that are kind of going off assignments when they're doing that, or if that's by design. Well, I guess we'll find out on Friday. But if we come off the ball and do what we're supposed to be, we should be able to move the ball on them and control the clock.
Coach, with this social distancing, this is going to be a unique for the fans. They explain what they have to do to get tickets. I think it's all digital.
Just got word this morning it's going to be all online. They're not going to sell any tickets down there. As far as I know, it's everybody can go. There's going to be we'll send a link. There'll be a link that you can hit, click on, and buy your tickets for the game. And I sent that to you, so you guys can kind of get it out there as well.
But we want as many people as can to come down, right?
Oh yes, as far as I know, it's open, full capacity of what is. We haven't been told there are any kind of limitations, so we would love to have a good crowd down there to support these guys.
And this is one we need to pick up before we head into those region final 2 games.
Yeah, we know who's at the end of the season there coming up, and so it would be nice to get some momentum to head into that game next week with Sequatchie and go from there.
Well, Coach, we'll thank you for joining us, and best of luck as you head to Mount Juliet this weekend.
Appreciate it, Gary. Thanks.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Coach Kerry Johnson Sports Show. Be sure to turn out at Green Hill High School in Mount Juliet. Now, that is in Wilson County, folks. So we want to make that clear, as a lot of folks was thinking it was probably in Davidson County, but it is in Wilson County. So be sure to turn out and support the Dragons as they head to Green Hill. And until next week, for 15104 Sports, I'm Gary Clark. See you at the game.